Alright, so in order to improve that shot, what we have to do now is to diffuse that reflection. And how do you diffuse reflections? Well, it's a very simple trick to it, which is that you basically increase the size of the light source. Okay, so let me just show you what that means. So right now, remember we moved the light on the side and this is our camera on the table. So I'm kind of giving you a top view of this. So this light is coming here. Now, how can we make this light source bigger, first of all? Okay. Because what happens is when the light source is bigger and it wraps around the subject more, that is just going to make everything soft. So in fact, if you've done my other courses, or if you just follow photography in general, you must be knowing this simple rule that the larger the source of light, the more soft it is. For example, if that's the reason we use a modifier like a softbox, right? Because it increases the source of the light, the size of the source of the light. Otherwise, this video light that we have here will only give us this much. Okay, which will not be good. It produces what we call as hard light shots, or shots with harsh lighting, like you can see, where the highlights look very strong, that is the bright areas look very strong, and the shadows also look very defined, and the shadows look really bad. So these are called harsh light shots, which result when you're not using a big source of light, or you're not basically modified and turned it into a bigger source of light. Okay, and what you're seeing now is a shot with soft light, okay, where highlights look good, that is the brighter areas look good, and you can even see the shadows look good. This procedure is followed in portrait photography, food photography, product photography, anything. That's the reason we use the modifier. But here's the thing, right? We are finding that yes, we have softened the light with this softbox, the 80 centimeter softbox that we have been using, but it's not enough because we want a better result, especially on those shiny parts, okay? How can we increase the size? Well, since I've written 80 centimeter here, what's the most logical way to increase the size here? Well, you can increase it and use a different modifier. Like for example, I also have a 135 centimeter softbox, okay? The problem is you can definitely do this. You can definitely go and buy a bigger softbox. Problem is they're going to be expensive, okay? So it will not be a budget shoot anymore. They're also very tough to carry around because these softboxes become very, very big, okay? So for a budget solution, there is definitely a better solution, which is to basically use a reflector. Okay, now a reflector, usually you must be thinking, Kush, doesn't it reflect back light? No, usually reflectors come in, you know, like these 5-in-1 combinations that we get on Amazon, and I've even given you the link to such a reflector in the document or the accessory document. When you buy these multiple reflectors in one type of a reflector, you get one of them is actually not a reflector, it's actually a diffusion panel, okay, through which, like a translucent panel through which you can fire the light. And this, like the link that I've given, and the most popular one is the 42 inches one. Okay, now this is definitely bigger than this. So what happens is we just put this in front of this light, and what this does is it automatically makes this light much bigger. And if it's much bigger, your highlights will definitely get more diffused and they will look much better. Okay, so one way is that you can just use this and hold it in front of the light. That usually gets a bit tiring. So I'll also be showing you one important accessory, which will be a kind of a stand to hold this reflector. Okay, it's a reflector mount or a reflector stand. We'll be seeing both the things, but the main learning here is we have to increase the size of the light as you're going to see, and we are going to be doing that using the diffusion panel of the reflector. Let's get back to the shot that we were taking. Let's put in this diffusion panel in front of the light and let's take this new shot. All right, so this time you can see that we have added that large diffusion panel of the reflector, the 42-inch reflector, and you probably will not be able to exactly see how it's being mounted right now. I'm just going to give you a nice close-up of that also, but you can see we've got the light behind. Now we made this light source really, really big, and what this is going to do ultimately when we go and see our shot is just going to give us a nice diffused look all over. But first of all, I just want to give you a close-up of how this light and this whole reflector stand with the reflector looks up close. All right, so this is how it looks from the behind. You can see, so this is basically on a light stand, okay, any light stand, and the main thing is we've got that nice reflector arm, as you can see, okay, that holds the reflector, and behind that we have the light on the softbox, and therefore all the light falling is really, really going to be diffused. Now we're going to get inside our camera and we're going to first of all see what are the changes this has made. We're going to take our shot and then we're going to compare this with the earlier shot. All right, so this time just have a look. Doesn't the whole shot just looks the body just looks more smooth, almost like if it was matte finish. And you can see here, we got rid of that problem. It's just made it larger, that shadow. Therefore, it just looks much more pleasing to the eye. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to take a shot because that's the best way to compare this. So let's take a shot and let's compare this to the last shot. All right, so this time you can see we've got a fantastic looking shot. Just notice that beautiful diffused reflection on the right here. It looks absolutely fantastic if I just zoom in, and the whole camera body just looks like that matte finish now. It's so beautiful. All the light has been spread evenly. You can even see on the lens here that diffusion panel is being reflected in a good way. Like this is spread out and this looks really good. Just compare it. Let me just show you which was the shot here. Yeah, this one. So you can see here, this was without the diffusion panel, and you can see we got this bad specular highlight. Here also you can see, and just overall, it was not looking very pleasing. And here also on the lens, you could see it was just not very even as compared to this. It just looks much brighter, and overall, the body just looks much better in this case. And especially, of course, the main thing here is the highlights. Okay, and finally I just edited this in a very quick manner, just like we've been doing before with those replace color things, and you can see I got a fantastic result. Even just increased a bit of saturation, cropped the image a bit, and you can see from this to this, thanks to that amazing lighting. Okay, and just compare this with the first shot that we took, where we literally did not think of anything. We were only focusing on the background. Okay, so this was the first video shot. You remember, we didn't care about this reflection. We didn't care about this, nothing. We were just focused on the background. But when we did all those things, we went from this to this, and I think this looks really nice. Whatever imperfections are now here are only because the camera is old. That's it. If this was a new camera, this would be absolutely perfect. So I hope that you're liking this part. Now we are going to take things to the next level in the next video, because we will increase the degree of difficulty by introducing and shooting much more reflective surfaces. So I'll see you there. Bye for now.